Oh, that's a great start. Alright, and start the recording and instantly yawn. We're just gonna roll with that. We are here for episode 47 in the challenge series. I was about to say it's probably the most important episode of the season. No, that's the next one, but this is probably a close second or third. Here is the qualifying events, some people refer to them as the heat races, of the Group 3 Championship. 5 races, 4 laps apiece. The top 4 finishers from each event shall move on to the final championship to end off the season next episode. So there are some stakes at play here. It's led to tempers in the past. We'll see if maybe things stay a little more straightforward this time around and we don't have anything crazy like what happened between Tyler and Trevor in episode 39 that knocked Trevor out of the qualifying rounds. We are green from the first qualifying round for the Group 3 Championship. It heads to Fuji Speedway, as I think we just missed some rain, as Linnet Sand is trying a brand new racing line there that involves using dirt tires, apparently. That's not new one. We ride along with... That's not what I want. We ride on board with Umi Sonoda as she and everyone else just engages in clusterfuckography going on down towards the second sector of Fuji. And Suwako's giving no space out here. Umi's forced to mount the curb and just back up. This might be a particularly weak circuit for the Audi, actually, as, well, it doesn't have very many strong ones, but this is one of the weakest because it has that long straightaway, and the Audi historically doesn't do too well on that. As we add on to that front straightaway, she got a good run out of the last turn, so she will make up places anyway, but she has a lot more to go if she is to make the, if she is to qualify right here, right now. Currently, Nico, Kogasa, Nitori, and Nozomi are the 4 that would qualify if, say, we had to red flag the race right here. He's looking for a pass on Erica Roth to make her way into the top 10, which, I mean, I guess technically speaking, a win is obviously ideal, but for at least the bare minimum efforts put in, she's already way more than halfway there. You just need 4th place, really, and you're in the show, and you can worry about winning races next week. But obviously, if you don't get 4th place, you either have to try again in another round, or deal with it and just wait till next season. It is kind of funny when you think about it, because not all that many people signed for this championship. Only about 30 did, or 40 or so, I don't remember. I want to say it was about 40, like 41, 42, as there's 9th place for the Audi. Yeah, so 41 or 42, and 20 make it to the championship, so we're gonna have almost half of the sign-ups make the big show. Seventh place, Jake is the leading male driver in this race. And don't give it too long, he might be overtaken by Sonoda. Which is making all-female top third of the field. And with the kind of run she just got from there, looks like that's going to happen right about now. Indeed, Umi is into 7th. Actually, into 6th, because that's a huge sin, but might have just made it work. June is making an ass out of herself and runs Umi off the track. And Umi gives as good as she gets, moves June out of her lane. I'm Canadian now. Moves her out of her lane, and now she's actually in 6th. Okay, that's weird. There's only 6. There's only 6. That's not right. Hey, I thought High Speed Ring was bad. At least they knew who it was and they just spelled the name wrong. Fuji, this is not Lin Chiganyu. They even knew it was Sebastian Orleans. They have the Austrian flag, but they gave the wrong name. Alright, well, yeah, that's even worse than Mo Moore. I seem to have missed... Oh, here I thought, I'm sure it was a routine overtake. Nah. It was 3 wide for the transfer spot. Umi waits to the last second, draws alongside the 2 Riptide Motorsports cars. And Nitori tries to fight on the outside, but inside lane and acceleration go burr. Umi's in the 4th, and she has just absolutely ruined Riptide's day. Well, I mean, not completely. Kogasa is also in the top 4, so she's looking as though she will qualify. Oh yeah, it's on the hood panel. I was like, does this car say Riptide on it anywhere? Yeah, it does. Right above the GT logo on the door. Door? The hood panel. So it's Mercury, Riptide, Mercury, overtaking Mercury, and then Riptide, and then I don't think there's any other affiliates even in the race. So this is the final lap, and these 2 teammates are just simply battling for a better starting position in the first race. I mean, it is a pretty significant difference starting, what is the order? Starting 11th or starting 16th, so... Teammate or not, you're going to want to try and make that pass, and it looks like Umi has failed. Looks like Nico will just have enough straight line speed to hold off the Jag for the victory here at Fuji. So she will start on the pole for the first round. Hugasa will start 6th, Nozomi 11th, Umi 16th, and nobody else will qualify. This is an all-female top 7, combined with also 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 18th, because this is Sebastian Orleans, but named wrong, because the people at Fuji are just as bad as the people at High Speed Ring and literally get 2 people confused. We have exactly two 650S drivers, and they got them mixed up. What, just because they drive both... What, just because they both drive blue cars? Is that seriously it? One sponsored by Gulf, one sponsored by Child's Play. It's a pretty big difference. It's literally Child's Play at Fuji Speedway. We are green for the second race of the Group 3 Championship qualifying rounds. I really gotta, like, think of a shorter name for that for next season. The blank championship qualifying rounds, especially when it's a name that long, like Group 3 Championship, or like Sunday Cup, or Clubman Cup, or Super Sports Cup, or something. It would be a little easier, but... Also, yeah, apparently that's the naming convention that we're just using now. Nituri and I are referring to the different categories as, different cup names. So the 600 class is the Sunday class, then it's the Clubman class, the Super Sports class, the Premium Sports class, and the Supercar class. And then it's the Sunday Cup, Clubman Cup, Real Sports Cup, Premium Sports Lounge, and Supercar Festival. And we are riding along with Hikari Taniguchi in his old GT500 GTR. Oh my word. As the track started quite wet, but however, the rain has stopped. Oh, Jesus. Well. I don't really know what to call that one. I don't really know who's at fault for this crash. And Kotori slid up early. That's not quite how you take that corner. I think honestly that's on her. But yeah, Hikari is no stranger to Autopolis due to his Super GT, JGTC days. He's curiously on Racing Slicks. The track is drying up though, so maybe he's got the power move going, maybe he knew it was going to dry up because the rain was lighting up before we even took the green. As these two ahead of him are just holding hands and doing more than that too, and... Huh. Yeah, everybody else started on intermediates, so guess who now takes the lead away? Hikari Taniguchi on his Racing Hards, who doesn't have to make a pit stop because he's already on the hard tires. However, this is going to be interesting, because now everybody else is on Racing soft tires. Not many people usually dare try to use Racing Hard, or Racing anything else other than Hards, because it's more money efficient. If everyone else is going to be running hard tires, you might as well do it too. And, you know, have one set of tires last you multiple races, because the races aren't that long. I do believe the Racing Hards on my Group 4 car, my Group 4 Viper, I haven't had to change them yet, and that car's run like half a dozen races. So, Hikari is leading, yes, but he's on the hard compound of tires. The track is now altogether dry, pretty much, but everybody else is on the soft tires. So, and I mean everyone except for Hikari. He's gonna have to use every ounce of that Autopolis experience to his advantage here if he wants to even stay in the top 4 and make it to the championship. Eric is gaining rapidly. To give you some idea of the pace difference just there, Hikari just runs a 51.6. That pit stop only cost Eric about a second, because his outlap was a 52, mid-52. And, yeah, you saw the cornering speed difference there. Hikari took that first turn almost perfectly. But that tire difference, combined with maybe small differences in the car's characteristics, it's, you know, this is front rear, this is mid rear, makes all of the difference. Eric and company are basically there now, so it'll just be a matter of a lap and a half remaining. Can Hikari, at the very least, limit the damage and stay in the top 4? He might not have too hard of a time with that, as 5th place Ryan Wolf is pretty far off the back of Francesca Fidanzi. As Siegfried Brandt did a pretty solid job of holding up everybody else, and is still continuing to hold up everybody behind him, as, well, I mean, we're seeing that behind him. The giant train. The zombies are coming. Bonus points for whoever somehow picks up on that terrible reference. The reference is great, but I just did it terribly. Well, this might help. Jake wants second, regardless of whether he's got to take it from Eric or Taniguchi, so he's gonna actually battle Eric for this. Kind of foolish, because he could easily win if he just gave Eric time to go after Hikari. They've all got faster speed than that Skyline, but Jake's just going to continue to sit here and try to steal second away from the 458. He's going to get to the inside lane. And he has taken second away, so now Jake better make good on that, and he better take the lead away too while he's at it. Or he might look kinda foolish. I mean, he got that P2. He did that. But, like, he could have probably won the race. Oh, Eric just missed the breaking point. Or he might have been... Was that a domino effect? Did Francesca miss her breaking point? No, that was just Eric misjudging. You don't want to do that too many times, Eric. Ask Maki about what happens there. Basically the last corner here. Does Jake get desperate? He looks wide, but he can't make anything connect. One more good exit and Hikari will have held off the masses. That'll do it. Taniguchi takes the victory at Autopolis despite being on the back foot tire-wise. Jack Scarborough, as well as the Scuderia Fidanzi duo of Eric and Francesca qualify. Germany has missed. German drivers finished 5, 6, 7, but that's not top 4, so they do not qualify from this occasion. So, without further delays, on to round 3. We are green from the third race of the episode. And, it is Watkins Glen, in case you hadn't seen enough of this track lately. I was about to go through all the semantics and race details. I think we already know what's going on, because we've already done 2 identical races. 4 laps, group 3s, blah 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 blah. Why am I in that camera angle? We are on board with one Riley Blanchard. Honestly, I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even know she signed up for this. She's threading the needle between AJ and Suwako. Alrighty then. save from Dedrick there. He did break a tiny bit early, but, like, that's not really an excuse to be smacked into like that. Apparently it's something I was not aware of at first, but I became aware of later on between the other drivers is... it was sort of an unspoken agreement between most of them. Not an unspoken, but like an unofficial agreement of... if you're signed up and you successfully make a top 4 finish and qualify, don't show up to the other races, give more people a chance to actually qualify in. It's by no means a rule. Nobody has to do that. If you qualify for a race, you can still race. It's just, you know, it's simply that, say, I think I explained this in the Group 4 qualifiers too. Okay, I mean, say, you know, Nico already qualified in race 1. He can race, she can race again. She doesn't race here, but if hypothetically she did race here, and she got 3rd, or like 4th, or she qualified again, basically, she'd be skipped over in the car that finishes 5th, or whoever the next unqualified driver in the finishing order is. They'd qualify instead, because otherwise then we wouldn't have a full 20 cars for the grid. That RS01 is god-awful on the straight, but yet not as bad as the Suzuki. Riley's getting... Riley is getting ever closer to the top 4, but you never guess who'll stand in her way. At the moment, Thrasher is running 4th. Dom DePrisco seems to basically have this on lock at the moment. Fidel also stands in Riley's way, but he didn't stand in it too well, or she's already overtaken him. Not the best apex there. What on earth are these two doing? What is going on in the House of Commons? Thrasher's actually looking for a potential move against Ryan Wolf for P3. I mean, I suppose that makes sense. Obviously, if Riley gets around him here... Why do I keep sounding Southern when I say that name? If Riley gets around him here, then that pass would be for 4th instead, so... Oh, Jesus. Well, I'll be damned. That's DNF. I want to say that might have been in Thrasher's blind spot, because... No. No, it isn't. It's his blind spot in this mirror, but she's still in his rear view there. Either he didn't know that she was completely alongside, because she's not, or, I mean, she's like a third of the way here. It's either that, or he was so hyper-focused on sticking behind Ryan Wolf, getting his slipstream and getting a move on him, that he hadn't noticed that Riley got alongside. He was turning right when contact was made. It wasn't by much, but he was still steering to the right. So, it's not like he turned into her. Of course, Riley being Riley's not going to hear any of this accident nonsense. She's just going to look at This is a person who I've argued with twice in the last little bit of time, and has just taken me out of this event and cost me my chance of qualifying to the Group 3 Championship because my car is now destroyed and would not be fixed in time for another race. Because her last chance is Friday. This is Wednesday, and I don't think that this car is getting fixed in 2 days, even with the Gran Turismo Association on the job. So, yeah, that is also a red flag on the session, because we only have just over a lap to go. If this had happened a lap earlier, we could have had a caution and a restart with 2 to go. But if there's less than 2 total laps to go, then that is the end of the event. And there we see her Corvette in a puff of smoke. So your 4 qualifiers from this one will be Thrasher, Ryan Wolf, myself, and Dom DePrisco. The 4th race of the episode is green, and we can't seem to get away from the rain showers this week. We came across the end of some rain in Japan, and then we go all the way to Germany, and we intercept another rain system. It's the Nürburgring, and it's some medium rain conditions, but unlike Autopolis, the rain isn't going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Forecast says this is sticking around for another half an hour at least. We ain't gonna be here that long. It might be drying up as we start to leave the venue, but not while we're on the racetrack. And here we are witnessing a new model, yeah. Ever seen a Corvette before, guys? A new... basically, this is Barbara Page. You can tell by the number, 55. Making her first start in Group 3 as Dedrick Schwartz gets so out of shape, he's starting to look like me. Like a little blinking light on the back of the RSR. Finally she clears Schwartz. Bit of battle between German drivers in Germany, how appropriate. Yeah, so she's making her first start in the Group 3 category, and I guess if there was a time to make it now when you can, you know, make it count. On the outside of Zoya, who hasn't made many races in regular racing yet, but was all over the idea of Group 3s, so she has this interestingly styled car. It's a bit of a tight fit for Barbara, but she does get around the left side, I guess, of the Genesis. The Genesis isn't like that and gets into her quarter panel, but Barbara didn't seem phased. Drags the Bug. And the RSL1, which is actually probably worse in a straight line than that Bug ever would be. Oh, that's awkward. Just about slots in between a bunch of cars. No actual contact somehow, but they're 3 wide on the exit. That's, Barbara actually comes out on top on that, I think, unless Mosan pulls something out of the hat. No. Barbara aggressive in the middle of the turn and forces herself ahead as we have a spin. Ow. No, unforced error from AJ unleaded. Just too early on the throttle and the Genesis is dead. Barbara crosses over on Emmy, and with the better acceleration, better exit I should say, we'll grab at P8. You can already see the top 5, or 5th place. Top 4 is pretty far away from Kaminaga though. Also, yeah, Kaminaga in this car. I think this is also her debut in the Group 3 category, and I guess what a time to make one here. Top 4 is pretty far away, though. Nitori, Kevin, Bergstrom, Ivan Sodakov, and Kotori will be the ones qualifying to this point, as Ivan's rear roof stripe there is not lined up. Is that even supposed to be there? There's no stripe anywhere else on the car. I'm not even sure if it's supposed to be there. Suddenly I just look away for a few seconds and Barbara's like, oh, I'm in 5th place now. So there's that. So in between the far south part of the track and now, she made it up 3 places. They call Rain the Great Equalizer, and I think that that's being kind of demonstrated here as Kotori is defending the lead despite having one of the weakest vehicles in the entire category, but she knows how to work the car in wet conditions, and that's helping her stay ahead of Ivan. Kevin Bergstrom isn't really that close to them, and Nitori is even further back. But surprised that Nitori's not doing more, considering that she used to literally control water, as does, and Barbara are kind of the same. Both are pretty heavily associated with water and rain. Barbara especially, is Nitori just makes herself look like a fool and completely misses that turn, and Barbara says, alright, works for me, goodbye. Yeah, Barbara is no stranger to very rainy days in her hometown. The weather cycle there is, what I understand, a chaotic mess. That stripe on the back of Ivan's car is just taking me off now. You might want to shift. So Barbara is now in the qualifying positions, so anything else she takes from here is just bonus points. Bonus points and or, well, a better starting position. You know, right now she'd be starting like 19th place. But every pass on this race is, you know, 4 extra places higher that she'll be starting. Or 5, rather. So, if she completes this move on Bergstrom, suddenly she's starting 14th, and that's a hell of a lot more manageable. And with the inside there, who gets the better exit? Now that's going to be Kevin. Probably might have been some additional water draining off to the side of the track there that Barbara got caught up in, but she has the straight line advantage and brakes later than the Z4. That's probably making that move official. Yes. So now she's suddenly starting 14th. She passes Ivan, she's suddenly starting 9th. And if she passes Kotori, she's starting P4. So, you know, just qualifying doesn't mean you gotta get complacent. If you see an opportunity to take more positions, you know, do that. This is a race after all. Most Challenge Series drivers don't even have to be told twice. They'd be going for passes even if there was nothing on the line, because that's just how a lot of them operate. Not much going on up or down the field at the moment, so I guess we'll just look back at the battle for the win. The win? The win between, Ivan and Kotori and potentially Barbara, who just got a really good exit from the Schumacher S's. Ivan is being defensive into the kink, and then he has to brake because he's cutting his own line off, so not his wisest choice. That's going to cost him P2 against the Corvette, but that's a pretty decent distance for her to make up to the leader, so I think P2 it will be for her, but, you know, That's all you need. You don't need to win. But I'm sure Kotori won't be complaining, as she's gonna exit the last turn here at this very wet Nürburgring, and she will win. Despite having one of the weakest cars in the category in the form of the Alfa Romeo, she still holds on diligently and grabs the W. Qualifying alongside her will be Barbara Page, Ivan Sodakov, and Kevin Bagstrom. For a second time, Nitori is within sight of a qualifying of a transfer position, but can't get it. She finished 6th at Fuji, now she finishes 5th. Just needs to get one more next time round, and she makes it in. Reminder, the last championship neither of us qualified, so to have both admins actually in the race would probably be kinda nice. And the final qualifying round is underway. It is time for Monza, a track which usually breeds desperation. So of course, we choose that for the final qualifying event. And people can get even more desperate. Case in point, Zhou Jingwei there just packing right into the back of Schwartz, or the sneaky move that Siegfried Branch just pulled, which was technically in, legal bounds, I think. And yeah, we were on board with aforementioned driver Siegfried Brandt, who I'm pretty sure is the only driver in this entire field driving a car with a transmission so antiquated that he actually has to pull, he actually loses a lot of time from changing gears. Which will actually hurt on a track like this, because it's all about straightaways, and having to spend 3/4 of a second doing the shift clutch, on throttle, off throttle thing, that's going to hurt. Okay. Brandt is just being forced off by both Kaminaga and Koizumi. He's boxing Haneo in and out-dragging Neo at the same time. Haneo just smacks into him again. I don't think she knows the lay of Monza too well. Kirby Watts is going to easily out-drag for that spot. But it is definitely an advantage to the Super Silhouette, though. It has a lot of straight line speed, way more than most other Group 3s have, and this is the perfect track to harness it. It's not nearly as extreme as the top speed advantage that Brandt is used to having, which is just ridiculous, but it is still there, it is still helpful. The door panels are wooden? What the heck? Am I seeing that right? Is that wood? Or is that just some kind of weird fiber plastic? And see, effortlessly out-drags the Peugeot heading towards the Ascari. Can we get some sunlight back here? Quite a bit of understeer heading through the second part of Ascari, but he keeps it on the road. Okay, so that's not wood, that's just plastic, but man, it looked like wood. looks like we might have a battle for the lead here if Nitori brakes just a touch later than that Toyota. She does not. June trying to get a move on AJ. The Genesis spins again, and it's made a lot more chaos this time. That's backed up like 3-4 cars with it. Maybe even 5. I don't know if Melissa Weiss got obstructed by that or not, but that's actually probably exactly what Siegfried Brandt wanted. Drags third on back right into his grasp. First victim, it will be Carly Watts. He gets into the back of Summers a little bit, trying to outbrake Carly, who just backed out entirely. And then she just shoves Siegfried aside completely. Alrighty then. Yeah, there's that desperation, especially since they're fighting for 4th position. That was an ugly Lesmo too from the Ford. Now she's blocking Siegfried. He's got to run on the Ford this time, and I hope for both their sake that he can get it done here before something unkempt takes place. Brandt has some patience, but it's certainly not limitless, and if you keep pushing him around, he will get annoyed. I'm sure I'm not the only person who remembers what happened to Mizzotto. The last time Brandt raced here, he destroyed somebody entirely. Now, there's a battle for the lead still between Fidel and Nitori. Almost said Fidel and Fabian. No wrecker, those are the same person. Because right now, June Summers is in P4, but she obviously has got to stay there. And that Ford GT has quite some straight line speed. Which is odd, because I figured that the Aston Martin would have straight line speed too, but I guess not enough. She does stay on the right side of the second chicane, which is the better line if you want to defend. Yeah? Terrible Lesmo won, probably because she decided to go off-roading. Two and a bit more straightaways for June Summers and Carly Watts to decide who will be the last driver to make it into the championship. But the battle for the lead is also ongoing as Nitori tries to find a lane on either side of the Toyota driver, but her run stalls out there. She might not have much of a chance at all. No, she just tucks in behind Fidel, who brakes aggressively. However, these two are too wide. That's a little bit of an interesting pass from Carly Watts. As Fidel Fabian will grab the victory here at Monza. Nitori second, Siegfried Brandt third, and Carly Watts will, through the means that were necessary, grab that final transfer spot and deny June Summers by using her door. And with that race complete, we have our official qualifiers list for the final championship of the season. And that list will be Nico Yazawa in the Toyota FT1, Kogasa Tatara in the Jaguar F-Type, Nozomi Tojo in the Ford Mustang, Umi Sonoda in the Audi R8, Hikari Taniguchi in the Nissan GTR GT500, Jake Scarborough in a Corvette C7R, Eric Wojciechowski and Francesca Fidanzi, both in Ferrari 458s, Dom DePrisco in a Huracan, myself in my Dodge Viper, Ryan Wolf in an SLS AMG, Thrasher in a Ford Mustang, Kotore Minami in a Alfa Romeo, an Alfa Romeo 4C. Still don't know how she pulled that off. Barbara Page in her Corvette C7. Ivan Sodokov with his poorly aligned rear trunk stripe in the AMG GT3. Kevin Bagstrom in his BMW Z4. Fidel Fabian in his Toyota GR Supra. Mitsuru Kawashiro in her Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. Siegfried Brandt in his HKS-themed Skyline Super Silhouettes. And the final car that'll qualify is Carly Watts in her Ford GTLM. So that's now redundant. And that is going to conclude matters in episode 47. Next time around, it will be the Group 3 Championship, the season finale of episode 48. This is gonna be something else.